Today we're gonna talk about the insulation in the van.
Getting this for the floor. This is 50 millimeters, right? Let's go.
Bora!
We started the day filling the holes. The guys that were using the van before just didn't take care at all. They were putting the wood there to build the shelves and they put holes everywhere. So we needed to fix this before to start building the floor. At the end, it was good to have some time to make sure the leak we fixed last week on the wall was okay before putting the end of the sound deadening on the wall. We bought this silver tape that is used to seal the joints between the pieces of sound deadener upon its installation. Legend has it, it will help to control the temperature, moisture and the condensation as well. I want to emphasize that this tape is not a sound deadener, but is designed to be used when you're installing the sound deadening. I'm gonna put the link in the description. After the sound deadener, the next layer was the insulation. We bought two different materials to insulate the van. For the floor, we got insulation boards, and for the walls, we got sheep's wool. Before we started the insulation, we needed to finish around the wheels, and that part we left before because of the leak. And now we were ready to start the insulation. A third layer you normally put on your walls is the vapor barrier. You can also find it in a metallic material, but the plastic was much cheaper and easier to deal with. Because of all those holes we had on the floor, we decided to also put the vapor barrier on the floor before we started the insulation. And then the work really started. Davy started cutting the plywood we had from the shelves that came with the van. The only thing we had was a saw and the drill. Honestly, it makes it harder to not have the proper tools, but we didn't even have space to work. We were taking everything from the van every day before working and putting everything back in. We were working on the street, and even though all of these problems didn't help much, we stayed strong and happy converting our van. The structure we created to support the floor was made from the plywood we had already, and cutting the insulation board with a knife was pretty easy. While David was doing that, I was getting the pallets ready to go. We don't recommend the insulation boards for the wall, because the wall on the van is very irregular. There are many different corners and bends, and it would be very difficult to cut. But for the floor, they were perfect. As you can see, the sheep's wool was very easy to use. We just couldn't believe how nice and quick this was. Apart from that, it is sustainable and safe, plus they don't smell at all. We read that some insulation materials, such as fiberglass, can be dangerous or cause skin irritation in a tiny space or difficult breathing, so that's another reason why we didn't want to take the risk.
That's the wool we got. Sheep wool. Material is excellent. All we needed to do was split this in half, put some glue on the wall, and it was perfect. So the wool was 150 mil and we split this in half, so 75 mil.
I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the insulation boards on the video where we actually finished the floor. Make sure that when you're doing the insulation in your van, you're gonna fill all the holes of the van like David was doing on the video. As always, at the end of each day, we have to put all the materials back inside the van, and then we are finished. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We have much more coming, so stay tuned, subscribe to our playlist, and I'll see you on our next video.